I like what you call this. What did you call this thing?
I call it the Swiss Army knife.
Right.
That's what I call
The
it.
Swiss Army knife of grips.
This grip is sort of essential to creating a recoil. It's like the most pivotal piece of equipment we have. The whole point of all of the base plating and everything is just to get this up on the top.
Right. To start up front, it's got our Z-rail jaws here, so you can clamp it onto our Z-rail and line it up where you need to for balance and all that. This is Z-rail or NATO rail or red rail, whatever it is. It's that common rail, so if you already have that, you can use this grip. This also is movable to the back, so depending on the balance needs and what accessory types that you need up front, you can switch this to the front or back and even turn it 90 if your rail is running this way. This is our Access Mini that you would mount up front like that, and the EVF would go to this rosette right here. So it's not just a handle in this case, it's part of the whole EVF mount, which is great actually because you don't have a whole separate system for that.
Well, what we've done is essentially we used to have a what we call dog bone style axis, and now with the Access Mini it's really one dog bone and the handle becomes the second dog bone.
Right.
So here we have our new invention, which is our locking cold shoes, and this is really a great concept because cold shoes are not really professional.
Especially the way that they use tie downs, those wheels to lock them down, and they never stayed locked.
Then when you get them locked, you can't get it undone, and you get really frustrated and you have to almost get a pair of pliers to get it off.
I just don't trust their stability.
No, and they loosen. So here's what you do. You slide the cold shoe in there, you turn the lever a quarter turn, and it brings these walls in, and it locks it. It is no way it can move.
Like a vise.
This is also designed originally for the C300 because with that AV unit, you sometimes need to mount it horizontally and sometimes vertically. And you can do that just as you would with their rig on this handle.
All right, the last port we have on here is this one coming straight out the front. In some cases, on some cameras, we noticed that this is the perfect spot to mount a motor, let's say for, for our control grip, for a zoom or iris, whatever it may be.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have a rod on the side. The motor just has to engage the lens. On certain rigs, you don't have like a top plate and you don't have the ability to have a motor rod. This is perfect.
Yeah, it's better to mount motors on top anyway, because these days there's not a lot of rod real estate down on the bottom, so might as well use them and mount them from the top.
Now, if you're not using that and you want to use one of our American arms, it also makes a handy little mount here. And when you're going to be on your sticks, you could have
a monitor or whatever it may be.
This thing can work in any possible configuration you want. So here it is, the Recoil Handle, the Swiss Army knife of hand grips.